Romance, that magical cocktail of butterflies, cuddles, inside jokes, and the occasional, "Can you not breathe on me right now?" Let's be real, love is amazing, but even the healthiest relationships can turn into emotional hostage situations if we forget to draw some respectful lines in the sand. Imagine building a beautiful house together, but forgetting to install doors. Boundaries are those doors. They let the love in, keep the nonsense out, and ensure everyone gets their own closet space. According to Very Well Mind, having strong personal boundaries reduces stress, prevents burnout, and increases relationship satisfaction. Without them, you're just two people slowly merging into a resentful human blob that argues over where to order takeout from. Set those boundaries, friends. Your mental health and your growth of history will thank you. Know your boundary flavor. Every relationship needs boundaries, but not every boundary looks the same. Some are firm, like "don't touch my fries," and others are flexible, like "you can pick the movie as long as it's not Saw 4. Experts at Headspace and PositivePsychology.com break these down into categories: emotional, physical, time, digital, sexual, and financial. Emotional boundaries protect your feelings. Saying, "I need a moment to process" is not dramatic, it's responsible. Physical boundaries define how much touchy-feely is too much. If you need a 10-foot radius when you're sweaty and tired, that's sacred space. Time boundaries are about respecting each other's schedules and personal time. Want to binge Love Island alone in your pajamas on Thursdays? That's your right. Digital boundaries mean your phone is not a community resource. Just because you're in love doesn't mean you're in the FBI. Then there's sexual boundaries. These ensure comfort, consent, and a shared understanding of intimacy. And finally, financial boundaries help you avoid arguments about who bought the fancy oat milk. It was you. You always buy the fancy oat milk. Boundaries are hotter than ever. Ready for some tea from the research world? According to a recent YouGov poll, 57% of Americans say boundaries are crucial in relationships, but less than half feel confident actually setting them. That's like knowing you need to floss, but pretending mouthwash is enough. Also, in a spicy stat from Australia, nearly 50% of teens said tracking their partner's location was fine. Yikes. Only 22% felt comfortable saying, "No, I don't want to be stalked via GPS." That's not love, that's just low-key surveillance. Boundaries around digital privacy are more necessary than ever. Want more? Very Well Mind reports that couples who overly rely on each other emotionally often fall into codependent patterns. Your glue is not your shrink. They're not even trained in CBT, and they still call oatmeal wet cereal. Give them a break. Oops, your boundary is leaking. Boundary setting is not a one-time PowerPoint presentation followed by a kumbaya. It's a skill, and everyone fumbles. Some people confuse boundaries with passive-aggressive silence. Ghosting? Not a boundary. That's emotional hide-and-seek with trauma as the prize. Then there are people who wield boundaries like nunchucks. Remember Jonah Hill's headline moment where he told his partner she couldn't post certain photos or surf with men, then called it a boundary? Nope, that's control dressed in a therapist costume. Boundaries are about your behavior, not their Instagram grid. Some people set boundaries like they're drawing chalk lines around a crime scene way too rigid. Life changes, so should your rules. Haley Maggie, a boundary coach, yes, that's a thing and she's awesome, says boundaries should flex, not snap. And if you find yourself saying things like, "I just don't like it when you do you know that thing," then congratulations, you've set the vaguest boundary ever. Be specific. Use your words. You're not casting spells. You're just protecting your peace. How to set boundaries without sounding like a robot or jerk. Step 1. Figure out what you actually want. Sounds simple, but it's harder than deciding what to eat when you are both hungry, tired, and indecisive. Ask yourself, what's draining me? Where do I need space? If you feel like a shaken up soda can, that's probably your cue. Next, communicate like a human. Use I statements. "I feel overwhelmed when plans change last minute" goes down smoother than "you never plan anything and I hate you." Being kind is not the same as being vague. Say it clearly and say it with love. Expect some discomfort. That's normal. It's just your nervous system realizing you have a spine. Most importantly, follow through. If you say Sundays are your recharge days, don't agree to brunch just because mimosas are involved. Okay, unless they are really, really good mimosas. And finally, be flexible. Boundaries are not concrete, they are more like adjustable waistbands, cozy, comfortable, and life-saving during the holidays. Silly boundary moments we all recognize. Ever set a no phones at dinner rule only for your phone to buzz with your DoorDash driver is nearby? Suddenly, you're both looking at your pockets like they betrayed you. Or maybe your partner suggests watching a horror movie and you, a known scaredy cat, say, "Not unless we want to sleep with the lights on and me in the tub." That's a boundary baby. Or picture this: laundry wars. You lovingly announce, "I'll do my laundry. You do yours." Next thing you know, you're ankle deep in their socks that somehow smell like expired dreams. That's when you draw the line literally with tape across the bedroom. Boundaries also show up when your partner wants to build a treehouse on a whim and you calmly respond, "Sweetheart, it's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. Let's table the lumber purchase." These goofy moments matter. They're the building blocks of a relationship where both people feel safe, heard, and occasionally ridiculous, but always respected. Why you'll actually love having boundaries. Once you get into the groove of setting healthy limits, your relationship starts to glow up like a character in a rom-com montage. You trust each other more because nothing is assumed and everything is clear. You fight less because resentment doesn't have time to build up and morph into a dramatic episode of The Bachelor. You also rediscover you. Not just the person who brings snacks to movie night, but the person who still writes poetry, bakes sourdough, or enjoys 3-hour naps with no apologies. When each person maintains their sense of self, the relationship feels more exciting, not less. Who knew boundaries could be such a turn-on? When boundaries get messy, let's be honest, setting boundaries in a relationship is not always a peaceful yoga pose while sipping chamomile tea. Sometimes it's more like stepping on a Lego in the dark, sudden, painful, and followed by a lot of unintentional swearing. Maybe your partner broke a boundary. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they were trying to be cute, but ended up violating your sacred alone time with a surprise TikTok dude. Regardless of how it happens, the key is not to go full soap opera. Instead, breathe, center yourself, and try something calm like, "Hey, when you dismissed my request for alone time, I felt pretty hurt. Can we talk about how to handle that better next time?" No need to channel your inner courtroom attorney. You're not trying to win a case, you are trying to win each other's respect. Now let's talk about that fun little monster called guilt. You set a boundary, yay, but now you feel like you kicked a puppy. You're thinking, was I too harsh? Too cold? Am I a diva for not wanting to talk while I'm pooping? Answer, no. Here's the truth bomb. Guilt doesn't always mean you did something wrong. Sometimes it means you're finally doing something right for yourself. Selfishness is grabbing the last slice of pizza and blaming it on the dog. Setting boundaries is more like saying, "I'm not hungry now, but I want that slice later, so please respect that." It's about protecting your peace, not controlling anyone else's. Yes, boundary conversations can be awkward at first, like trying to floss in front of your crush. It's clunky. You feel exposed. You might accidentally say, "I need space," and then stare at them like you are asking for a divorce. But here's the good news. It gets easier. Practice turns awkward into awesome. When to get help. If setting boundaries always results in arguments, tears, or silent treatment, it's not just a relationship problem, it might be a personal wound needing attention. If you find yourself putting your needs last or feeling guilty anytime you assert yourself, it's time to talk to a professional. You deserve a relationship that includes your full self, not just the parts that are easy to accommodate. All right, lovebirds and boundary builders, that's a wrap on today's relationship rescue mission. If you laughed, learned, go ahead and smash that like and hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below telling me your funniest or most awkward boundary setting moment. I want to hear the tea and maybe help you navigate the drama without breaking up over a shared Netflix account.